Hi Cubers, this is a tutorial on the Puppet 2 cube. This is stage 3, where all we're interested in is the inner 3x3 part of the cube. If we have a look around, the rest of the cube is completely done, and it's just those inner cubies there that require manipulating to complete it. We're going to get the white on the bottom first by doing a white cross on the top, switching it to the bottom. And then we're going to sort all these edges out, these little edges that you can see. So let's see what we got on the top so far. Okay, that's the blue and white, and that's in the correct position. That's absolutely ideal. It's opposite and flipped. Yeah, and we're looking for the green and white opposite it. Yeah, so when we flip them on, the green and white opposite the blue and white, we flip them on the bottom, they'll be in the correct place. Okay, yeah. So, you know, with that blue and white there, if I show you here, if we take it down, yeah, there it is in the correct position. So opposite it, we're going to want the green and white. Right, so there is the green and white. That's ideal. We can bring that up quite easily. So, yeah, we're just going to rotate that. Move that middle slice out of the way. Rotate that right side back down again. And there's the centre, the white centre, but we'll leave that there for the moment. So those two are in the correct position. And we'll be looking next for, the orange and the red whites. And there they are. They're both there, and in fact, ideal. We've lucked in there. They're both opposite each other, and yes, the red and the orange are opposites. So all of those are in the correct place. So all we've got now is that centre, and we may as well put that centre in place. So we'll move that one of those down, put the white centre in the middle of it, and take it up. And there is the white cross. Now what we need to do is flip that to the bottom. Yep. So we're going to move the whole line out the way, and then we're going to move the line with the gap in it down to the bottom, and then move those three down to the bottom as well, and that'd be your white cross on the bottom. So let's have a little look, a little sneak peek there. Yeah, lovely, all the whites in there, as you can see. So now we can do the centres. Yeah, so your orange there, your blue, and your yellow on top. Yep, so that's all your centre's done, your white's done, and all you've got is all these edges that you can see, other than one at the back. That green and red at the back is only one that you can't see, other than these edges here that you can see. So I like to do that green and red one first. So let's bring it around. And there it is, in between that green and red centre, we want the green and red. We can find, and there it is. It's opposite to where it wants to be. So we're going to have to do a move. So we're going to have to move that green and red out of the way, and then move it back. And there's some moves we can do. I'm going to do a clockwise non-flipping move. And it's going to move it clockwise, and none of these things are going to flip. So that green and red will move from the right upper to the front upper position there. The move is M2 upper inverse, M upper 2, M inverse, upper inverse, M2. There we go. So that green red moved, as I said, clockwise from that right upper to the front upper. Okay, now what we're going to have to do is bring those two centres around, the green and the red, and because we want it to move back to where it was, but now in between the green and red, so that green and red. And we don't want it to flip, but this time we want it to move in an anti-clockwise rotation. So none of these are going to flip or anything. So that green and red will be in the correct position. Okay, so the move is M2 upper, M upper 2, M inverse, upper, M2. There. And that green and red is now in between the green and red centres. Ideal. So we can move that to the back. Yeah, get that round there. So that's in place. The whites are still in place, correct? Yep. And the centres are in their position. So the only thing we now got to worry about is those edges. Yeah, those edges there that we can see. So what we're going to do now is rotate these edges, and what I'm gonna, there's 4 moves. There's a clockwise, an anti-clockwise, a clockwise with a flip, and an anti-clockwise with a flip. And I'm going to show you each of those moves in turn, 4 moves, and we'll have this cube solved. So, well, I'm going to start with this orange and green, and I'm going to move that in a clockwise rotation. These 3 at the top, so the ones on the top are going to move, and none of them are going to flip. But that orange and green is going to move over. It's going to be closer to where it needs to be, which is in there, in between that orange and green centre. But first of all, we're going to move it clockwise, so it's going to go from the right upper to the front upper position. The other 2 will move and won't flip either. But it's going to get closer to where we want to be. And the move is M2, upper inverse, M, upper 2, just the upper 2, yeah, not that centre one, M inverse, upper inverse, and M2. Okay, so as I said, that orange and green's moved in a clockwise rotation from the right upper to the front upper, and it's closer to where I want it to be. But we'll leave that there for the moment, and I'm looking around. What we're looking at is that blue and red there, and I want that blue and red to move across to be in between the blue and red centre there. And again, this time I'm going to do an anti-clockwise move, non-flipping. So it's going to move across, and that blue, it will still be blue on top because none of these are going to flip. It's in its M2, upper, M, upper 2, M inverse, upper, M2. And there, as I promised, there it is in between. And that's moved across there, and the other 2 moved as well. So we're getting closer to where we want to be. Yeah. And so now all we left is the 2 flipping moves that I want to show you. So you can notice all these moves are very similar though. So it's easy to make a mistake, but just trying to stick with the moves. And what I'm looking at again is that orange there, the orange on top, and I'm really looking at that, and I want that to go in a anti-clockwise, but not to flip. And I want that green and orange, the first one I moved across, I want that to move into place, but I want that to flip this time. So that green and orange is going to flip, yeah. And in fact, the 2 greens on top are going to flip, and the one with the orange on top isn't going to flip. So, yeah. So the left upper and the front upper are going to flip. The right upper will not flip, and 2 of these will be correct position, correct orientation after this move. And it is yeah, M, upper inverse, M inverse, upper 2, a little bit stiff there, M, upper inverse, M inverse. There we go. And I said those 2 oranges now, that orange and green is flipped, and that orange and blue moved across without flipping, so they're both correct. Ideal. So 1 move left to do, and that's going to be this yellow surface here, and this time that blue and yellow I'm going to want, yep, to move across and not flip, and I'm going to want these other 2 that aren't yellow on top to flip. So yeah, because so now the clockwise flipping move, the right upper and front upper are going to flip, but the left upper isn't going to flip. So yeah, with clockwise it's these 2 that flip in, whereas before when I did the anti-clockwise it's these 2 that flipped. Yeah, this time we're doing the clockwise, these 2 are going to flip, but that yellow one won't. That yellow one will stay yellow on top and be correct. And the move is M, upper, M inverse, upper 2, M, upper, M inverse. And that is your puppet 2 complete. Okay, something else I really wanted to cover in this. It's fairly easy this, but obviously when we're switching these around, we're switching these 3 here, or these 3. You can do it whatever angle you want, as long as you don't get any bandage in. But you might get a situation like this, where you've got these 3 that are incorrect, okay? And it's not a problem bringing up this here, but then of course, as you bring this up, you're going to push this away. So what you're going to have to do is think about some setup moves, and obviously I can't go through every situation, but you just, you know, give you the tools, and you're going to have to figure it out. So what would we do in a situation like this, because it can appear quite quizzical to start with. What you're going to have to do is a setup move. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move them up here. I like to move have this as my operating base, so which means what I'm going to do, my setup move is going to be moving this cubie over to here. So I move that back there. So you have to remember this to put it back afterwards when you've completed the move. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this one that needs changing up here. So yeah, we've only got 3, but this is a setup move, okay? And we need to switch this, this and this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a clockwise move, because this one here is orange and blue. And I can see that this is the blue bit and this is the orange bit. So this is going to come here, okay? This blue and yellow is going to come over here, and that'll be correct on that blue and the yellow bit down there. And this orange and yellow will be correct. And now what we're going to do is the usual clockwise rotation without any flips. And that is M2, upper inverse, and of course make sure you don't move these little cubies in between here. So it's upper inverse, M, upper 2, upper 2, M inverse, upper inverse, M2. Right, that's the move complete. And now we've got to remember to do the right first, yeah? Do it back to front, you set up move, do the right, then move this slice back, yeah, this way, and there we go. Sorted, okay? So you can do setup moves and it won't affect anything else, because when you do the moves, the clockwise, anti-clockwise, and the clockwise and anti-clockwise with flips, all you're ever doing is moving 3 pieces. So you just have to think about it. And now you've got the tools, you can complete the Puppet 2. I've been cuberstu. Till next time, cubers.